Good morning, everyone. The FBI's holiday weekend document dump, you remember, putting the spotlight on some of Hillary Clinton's closest allies, but was a member of this inner circle, the mastermind behind a major cover-up of her email server and confidential emails.
Joining us from D.C. to weigh in is former general counsel to Vice President Dick Cheney, Shannon W. Coffin. Shannon, good morning. Thanks for joining us. So what is the biggest takeaway? A lot of people may not have noticed this. It was the Friday before Labor Day. They released this FBI report. What's the biggest thing this FBI report tells us?
Oh, there's just so much. There's so much information in the report. What I wrote about this weekend in the Weekly Standard, though, was the FBI and Department of Justice coddling of Cheryl Mills, the former chief of staff to Hillary Clinton, who later apparently served as her lawyer, and forgot whether she learned something when she was her chief of staff in the government, or later when she was a lawyer, and therefore claimed privilege over everything. That's the sort of thing that that the government, the FBI, would try to get set aside, but in this particular instance, the government did just the opposite. They actually did their best to preserve Hillary Clinton's privileges, which is just unfathomable.
Well, according to the FBI notes, we have a tear out we can share. According to Samuelson, Mills and Kendall subsequently reviewed emails that Samuelson printed, and any hard copy of the email was not included in the folder Samuelson created in Microsoft Outlook to contain all of the work-related emails. So I think what this is showing is that Mills was giving material witness testimony during the investigation, but then was also allowed to sit in on Hillary Clinton's testimony. What would the DOJ normally do?
Well, normally you just wouldn't allow that to happen. You keep witnesses apart. And here you have a material witness who actually testified to the FBI, also acting as a lawyer. It's just bizarre. And again, DOJ wasn't simply just going along with it. They were actively participating and protecting Hillary Clinton's privileges in this circumstance.
And in each instance, in looking at the report, it appears there was almost no follow-up. I mean, in multiple times, there was a report in the New York Times on March 2nd that there was this email server. Then there was a bunch of deleting that went on later on in March, but everyone denies knowing it. How does this report, how did it not lead to the recommendation for charges?
It's just hard to understand, Pete, because Cheryl Mills, for instance, told the FBI investigators that she didn't know about this server until after she left the government, when all this hubbub came up. There are emails from Cheryl Mills saying, "Is Hillary's coming back in town? Is her server ready?"
Yeah. Well, the timing of the whole thing is quite curious, too, with the document dump happening on a Friday of a holiday weekend. Shannon Coffin, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
20 minutes.